question that awakens: have you ever felt like life keeps testing you, one wave after another, never letting you breathe? That just when you resolve one struggle, another rises like a storm? If you've ever felt overwhelmed, tired of fighting, and unsure of your strength, then this story and the deeper truth behind it might change your perspective forever. Today, let us journey into a story you may have heard before, but this time, we'll uncover its true spiritual essence through the lens of the Buddha's timeless teachings. We will explore suffering, resilience, transformation, and the very nature of how we respond to life. Stay with us, for this isn't just a tale, it is a mirror to your soul. A young man, disheartened by the endless struggles of his life, confided in his father. "I'm tired," he said. "Every time I overcome one problem, another one replaces it. I don't know how I'll ever make it." The father, a wise cook, invited his son to the kitchen. He placed 3 pots of water on the stove and turned on the heat. Into one, he dropped a potato. Into another, an egg. And into the third, ground coffee beans. They boiled silently. The young man waited, puzzled and impatient. After 20 minutes, the father turned off the stove. He scooped the potato into a bowl, the egg into another, and poured the coffee into a cup. "What do you see?" he asked. "Potato, egg, and coffee," replied the son. "Touch the potato," the father said. It was soft. "Break the egg." Inside, it was firm and hard. "Now, taste the coffee." A smile grew on the boy's face. Then the father explained, each faced the same adversity, boiling water, but reacted differently. The potato was strong, but became soft. The egg was fragile, but it became hard. The coffee beans? They changed the water itself. The Buddha taught that life is dukkha, suffering, dissatisfaction, imperfection. An invitation to understand our mind, to examine our reactions, and to rise above the conditioned patterns of fear and frustration. In the story, the boiling water represents life's inevitable adversities. The potato, egg, and coffee beans are metaphors for different mindsets, different ways of responding. But which of these responses aligns with the path of awakening? Let's examine each response through the lens of Dharma. At first, the potato appears strong, firm, intact, unyielding. But once immersed in boiling water, it loses its form. It softens. This is the person who seems stable on the outside, but collapses when faced with hardship. They run from pain, deny its presence, or are consumed by it. From a Buddhist perspective, this is the untrained mind. It clings to pleasure and resists discomfort. When life doesn't go as expected, suffering deepens because the person hasn't cultivated inner resilience. Their strength was only a surface illusion. The egg is fragile, with a tender heart, but after boiling, it becomes hardened. This is the person who begins gentle but grows bitter, closed, and guarded after life wounds them. Pain has sealed their heart. In Buddhist terms, this is the mind clouded by aversion. When we don't transform pain, we transmit it. The hardened heart stops trusting, loving, or flowing. It protects itself with a shell of anger or apathy. But the Buddha teaches that closing off from the world is not liberation. It is another form of suffering. Unlike the others, the coffee doesn't just react, it responds with transformation. It meets the heat not with fear or resistance, but with alchemy. It changes the very water that once threatened to destroy it. This is the awakened response. This is what mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom cultivate. The coffee bean represents the practitioner who turns suffering into insight, anger into patience, pain into peace. In Buddhism, this is the path of transmutation, of using the first noble truth, not as a sentence, but as a doorway to awakening. I have suffered. Let me see why. Let me sit with it. Let me learn. How does one become the coffee bean? How do we meet adversity with grace? The Buddha offers the Eightfold Path. Right view, see life as it is, including suffering. Right intention, cultivate compassion, not hatred. Right speech, speak with kindness and truth. Right action, choose what is no harm. Right livelihood, work with mindfulness. Right effort, let go of what hinders growth. Right mindfulness, be present. Right concentration, meditate to still the mind. This path doesn't make boiling water disappear, but it transforms who we are in it. In today's world, boiling water can look like rejection, financial stress, illness, heartbreak, burnout. We often find ourselves reacting like potatoes or eggs, collapsing, withdrawing, or hardening. But the Dharma invites us to pause, to observe the mind, to breathe, to remember that nothing is permanent, not even suffering. And within us lies the capacity to turn that boiling chaos into the rich aroma of awakened living. What if every adversity in your life was your greatest teacher? What if your pain was the soil from which your compassion grew? What if every heartbreak was shaping your capacity to love? The Buddha didn't promise us a life without pain. He promised us a path beyond its domination. And so, as we close this reflection, we ask again, when the boiling water comes, will you let it weaken you, harden you, or transform you? The choice is yours. If this story moved your heart, imagine what other timeless truths await you. The next time, we'll explore how the Buddha used suffering as the very fuel for enlightenment, and how you can do the same. Until then, may your mind be still, your heart open, and your life steeped in the fragrance of peace. Folded hands subscribe to the Enlightened Mind and join us on this sacred journey.